Imagine a library burning to the ground every single fortnight. That is exactly what's happening to human history. Did you know that every 2 weeks, a single language completely vanishes from our planet? Out of the roughly 7,000 languages spoken around the world, nearly 3,000 are currently classified as endangered. Right now, there are over 7,000 different ways to express the concepts like hello, family, or home across our globe. They all have different sounds, vocabularies, and structure. But these tongues are far more than just collections of words. Language shape the way we think. They are entirely unique blueprints for how the human mind structures reality. The beauty of linguistic diversity is that it reveals how ingenious and flexible the human brain is. By mapping the world in thousands of different ways, human minds have invented more than 7,000 cognitive universes. To see what I mean, look at how we build a basic sentence. An English speaker says, the cat chased the mouse. But millions of people in Japan or Ethiopia naturally say, the cat, the mouse chased. Meanwhile, in the ancient sacred halls of the Middle East, they preferred to begin with the action itself, chased the cat, the mouse. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating structural backbone of linguistics, sentence syntax. The global snapshot. Welcome to the structural architecture of human speech. As of 2026, the world records 7,168 living languages. If you want to find where linguistic diversity clusters, look to Asia and Africa. Together, they hold nearly two-thirds of the world's languages. Asia takes the lead with 2,300 languages, while Africa follows with 2,140 unique tongues. When grouped into language families, three giants dominate. 1. Niger-Congo, the most linguistically diverse. 2. Indo-European, the most widely spoken globally. 3. Afro-Asiatic, a massive bridge of speech stretching from North Africa to the Middle East. When looking at the most spoken languages, English sits at the top, with 1.5 billion total speakers, followed closely by Mandarin Chinese at 1.1 billion. Yet, if you want to visit the true capitals of linguistic diversity, you don't look at population size, you look at cultural geography. The three countries with the most languages are 1. Papua New Guinea, 840 indigenous languages. 2. Indonesia, 710 distinct languages. 3. Nigeria, 520 spoken languages. Syntax. In linguistics, syntax is the system that governs how words combine into sentence. There are only 6 ways to arrange subject, verb, and object. They are listed below using an Amharic example. SOV, አበበ በሶ በላ. SVO, አበበ በላ በሶ. VSO, በላ አበበ በሶ. VOS, በላ በሶ አበበ. OVS, በሶ በላ አበበ. OSV, በሶ አበበ በላ. The first 3 are used by most of the world's languages, but the last 3 are rare. First, SOV, used by 45% of languages. Examples, Hindi, Japanese, and Turkish. Second, SVO, 42%, used by English, Mandarin Chinese, Swahili. Third, VSO, 9%, much rare, used by Ge'ez, Arabic, and Biblical Hebrew. In Ethiopia, almost all Semitic, Cushitic, and Omotic languages follow SOV, አበበ በሶ በላ. Ancient Semitic syntax. Classical Semitic languages like Ge'ez, Arabic, and Biblical Hebrew followed VSO. In Ge'ez, the English sentence, God created the heavens, becomes ገብረ እግዚአብሔር ሰማያተ. ገብረ, the verb he created, comes first. Action leads the sentence. እግዚአብሔር, the subject, God, follows the verb. And ሰማያተ, the object, the skies, heavens, comes at the end. Similarly, Arabic says ኸለቀ አላሁ አልሰማዋቲ. ኸለቀ, the verb he created, comes first. Allahu, the subject, God, follows. Al-samawati, the object, the heavens, comes at last. In ancient Semitic linguistics, the action acts as the primary headline. The verb has absolute power in a sentence. When a sentence starts with an action like the descriptive Amharic verbs ሞተ, he died, ወደቀ, he fell, ገደለ, he killed, or ፈነዳ, it exploded, the listener is alerted to the urgent nature of the action before he even finds out who was responsible. This creates immediacy and intensity. Ancient Semitic thinkers prioritized the occurrence. The subject was frequently treated as secondary to the divine natural action. Furthermore, Because Semitic verbs are highly complex, a single verbal root can morph to reveal the subject, tense, and object all on its own, producing thousands of related words from a single three-letter core. Syntax in modern Semitic tongues. Over time, most Semitic languages abandoned their original VSO structure. Modern Hebrew and Aramaic shifted to SVO. Ethio-Semitic languages, Amharic, Tigrinya, evolved into SOV. In fact, every single language spoken within Ethiopia today, whether Semitic, Cushitic, or Omotic, utilizes the SOV blueprint. Why did Ethio-Semitic break away from its ancient Semitic cousins? Most historical linguists agree this structure flip occurred due to intense and prolonged contact with Cushitic languages like Agaw, Sidama, Oromo, and Beja. Behind this remarkable cognitive flexibility lies the human capacity for learning language. When communities mix, their minds naturally adapt to find the most efficient pathways for communicating effectively, and syntax evolves. In today's Semitic world, who is left carrying the ancient torch? If you want to hear the classical VSO cadence today, your options are narrowed down to the liturgical beauty of Ge'ez in Orthodox church traditions and the sprawling, resilient structure of modern Standard Arabic. SVO and OSV in Ethio-Semitic. Even though Amharic and Tigrinya are firmly grounded as SOV languages, real life is not a textbook. When speakers want to ask questions and emphasis or convey specific emotions, they scramble their word order. Amharic question with SVO. Dawit bella ምሳውን Dawit subject comes first. Bella, he ate. The verb follows. ምሳውን, his lunch. The object comes at the end. OSV. ይህን እንጀራ እሷ ጋገረችው። ይህን እንጀራ, this እንጀራ object comes first. እሷ, she, the subject, follows. ጋገረችው, she baked it. The verb comes at the end. The same sentences exist in Tigrinya. Vanishing voices. As we track this magnificent complex structure, we have to look closely at a sobering reality. Every 2 weeks, one language disappears. Humanity permanently loses 26 languages every year. The number of languages that have gone completely extinct is estimated to be more than 3 times the number of living tongues today. Historically, over 31,000 languages have existed, but only about 7,000 remain. Languages die due to cultural assimilation, economic pressure, and loss of intergenerational transmission. The United States is frequently celebrated as a multicultural melting pot. It plays host to roughly 430 spoken languages, consisting of around 253 imported immigrant tongues, alongside 177 indigenous languages. Yet, linguists openly call the United States a graveyard of languages. Why? Because its massive cultural machine acts as a structural monoculture. Immigrant languages rarely survive past the third generation before being completely swallowed by English. Historical policies have left the vast majority of those 177 indigenous languages critically endangered, often spoken only by a handful of elderly members. The diversity is there, but the general survival rate is terribly low. Every time a language dies, we don't just lose words, we lose a unique worldview, a cognitive system, and a way of structuring reality. Syntax reminds us that our minds do not all process reality in a single predictable sequence. There are thousands of different ways to map a thought, build a sentence, and tell a story. Whether you are unlocking how to say hello in 10 different tongues or mastering the syntax of a single language, you are participating in something profound. Throughout history, people who possess fluency in multi-language have held a distinct advantage. In this globalized world, language is a secret weapon in knowing how different cultures structure their thoughts. It allows you to step outside your own cognitive boundaries and see reality through an entirely different lens. So let me ask you, are you a polyglot? Are you learning a language? Or are you still seeing the world through just one structure? Every new language you learn doesn't just add vocabulary. It rewires how you think. As we move forward into an increasingly interconnected future, preserving our remaining diverse linguistic structures is a vital mission. Great thanks for exploring the traffic laws of the mind with us. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What structural layout does your native tongue use? See you in the next chapter.